Hello everybody. So yesterday I was on a stream with the Distributionist. He's a Christian YouTube channel who does all kinds of debates with all kinds of people that are vastly different from him when it comes to worldview and such. He's had feminists on there, he's had alt-right people on there, he's talked to Sargon and stuff, and it's a great channel for political discourse and for having debates. And I was on his channel, I was talking to him about atheism and about video games, and I was surprised he actually played my game. It was really quite amazing to talk to him. Well, we definitely had some disagreements. He thinks that all morality is derived from God, apparently, which isn't a thing that I was aware of previously, because previously he's made the point that morality is objective because we use logic to arrive at the conclusions what is moral and what isn't moral, but this time he actually talked about how it is in fact all derived from God, and you definitely need to have this faith in God to make the Christianity work for you. So, well, I guess he said things that weren't so clear on his channel before, in my opinion, and he's made them clearer now, so it was a good debate, and you should watch it. The link's in the description and stuff. And I would talk to him again. It was all very good. So anyways, on a mostly unrelated note, I want to address a debate that some people have when it comes to creationism and evolution. Because in my opinion, there is no point in denying evolution. Even if you're a devout Christian, I don't think there's a point in denying evolution. Because even if you have what's written in the Bible, and you have what science has come up with about evolution and carbon dating and all the things that teach us about the history of the universe, then there's not necessarily a contradiction. Also, I want to clarify real quick that the Distributionist is not a science-denying creationist, and this is a separate debate, an atheist Bible study, if you will. It says, "In the beginning, when God created the universe, the earth was formless and desolate. The raging ocean that covered everything was engulfed in total darkness, and the Spirit of God was moving over the water. God commanded, 'Let there be light,' and light appeared." I mean, you could take it literal, and you could think that, well, I mean, I guess the point here is taking it literal. So let's see. He created the universe. So far, so good. How does he create the universe? It's not said. Maybe he made a universe and designed it piece by piece. Or maybe he just made a Big Bang and it made a universe. It's not impossible that he's done it using a Big Bang, because, I mean, Einstein says God doesn't play dice, but that's just an opinion, and Einstein shouldn't tell God what to do. What if the easiest way to create the universe was to just play dice? What if all God had to do was create a bunch of matter bunched up in one area, and then it would explode and form a universe? Why wouldn't he do such a thing? Alright, so the earth was formless and desolate. So let's see, he's made this universe and he's made a Big Bang, and apparently there was no light, and it just formed planets that are made of water and desolate earth underneath. It's not an impossible concept that he would have. I mean, it's hard to tell if you could make a universe without light. That's one of the contentions, is that it doesn't make sense. But what if he just made a universe and it behaved similar, but not exactly like the current universe, but there wasn't light? Maybe light waves. I mean, maybe he started off creating the matter, but he hasn't created the light waves yet. So he's seen that the matter forms planets, and that was good. And then he said, let there be light. So he scrapped the universe, but he still has like the blueprint of the universe. He still has the starting conditions. All he has to do is add light to it. Basically, he adds the possibility of light waves and the interactions between, well, I guess it's nuclear fusion or fission that powers the sun. So there's, I guess he created a bunch of new elements that can react violently to create light. So he makes the universe again, and now it's a different version of the universe, but now it forms stars and planets, and the stars are basically made of highly volatile matter that emits light, and the planets are, well, they're the same still, I guess. They don't create much light of their own until humanity comes and creates light by building cities and stuff. So anyways, in my opinion, it's not a contradiction yet. We got I'm not going through the whole thing, by the way, so don't worry. I'm just saying that these things aren't necessarily a contradiction. So we've got it so far, right? So he's had one version of the universe, and then he's added more to it, and it's possible to have the Big Bang, and it's still possible to believe in this literal concept of the creation story. That's my point. Yep. And, well, I guess the part where he separates night and day, I guess that part's a bit tricky, because how was it before that? Was there night and day? What did he make it so that... I mean, all you'd have to do to separate... No. Well, I guess the only way that there could have been eternal light before he separated darkness and light would be that there was, like... this big background light. Maybe the first graph of light that he did was actually to make it so that there's light everywhere. And I don't know what's wrong with that, actually. I don't know why he didn't keep it that way. But then he went and did the thing I said about making it so that the light is made from stars. So now you got light only on one side of the planets. And then maybe he spun the planets to make it so there's night and day. But then again, who knows? I might be wrong here. Alright, so let's move further down, because we don't want to go through everything. We just want to get to the part about the evolution. Then God commanded, let the water be filled with many kinds of living beings, and let the air be filled with birds. So God created great sea monsters, all kinds of creatures that lived in the water, and all kinds of birds. And God was pleased with what he saw. He blessed them all, and told the creatures that lived in the water to reproduce and to fill the sea. And he told the birds to increase in number. You see that? He doesn't even say that God created these animals by himself. He just said, water create fish or something. So how is this a contradiction to evolution? He's made the world, and then the world produced creatures. And then we've got the part where it says he blessed the creatures and told them to reproduce. I mean, I guess this part's kind of contentious, because what does that mean? I mean, one idea would be that he looked at the fruits of evolution, and then he picked out the creatures that he liked, and he blessed them so that they would reproduce better. Maybe he gave them food or something. But to me, it's not a great contradiction here, and I don't want to be arrogant here and say that God is a programmer that designed the world like I would design a world in a game, but I mean, I'm just saying that there is a logic that if you believe that there is a God that created the world, then then it would only make sense that he's. I mean, you can observe the world, and the world has logic to it. So why would you assume that the creation process didn't utilize some of that logic? It would only save time to make it easier to use reproduction as a way to also create new species by way of evolution. Seems like a very elegant solution. And then we've got all these issues where it says, oh no, actually the Earth hasn't been created 2,000 years ago. No, the Earth has been created. I mean, there was a Big Bang 3 billion years ago or something. I don't actually know how far ago it was. I think there's some consensus on when it was, but this is still not a contradiction to me, because you believe in an almighty God, creationists, so why is this almighty God not capable of speeding up the flow of time so that it in fact was 2,000 years ago, but he just sped up the matter, so he just commanded it to move faster because he didn't have time to wait around. Or maybe he did have time and he's eternal, so maybe he just took longer than it says, but maybe it didn't take longer because how do you even measure time when you're a god? Is time dependent on how long one thought takes? Maybe there were only that many thoughts and then he just let it go for a while and he came back and it was all good. So anyways, this is me saying that creationists shall never again doubt evolution and science. And I don't know if there's a God. I'm not a believer, but I'm agnostic, I guess. So I think it's interesting to think about God, even though I also think that it is pointless to theorize about what is. It's still interesting in a way, so there's a contradiction. Oh, and even if you completely disbelieve in evolution, what's the point? Because you believe that God created the earth, and God made everything as it is, and he intended it to be this way because he's omnipotent? Yeah, I was going to say omnipotent. I guess it doesn't matter. Anyways, he has all the power, and he's made it exactly as he wanted it, and then he's changed the atom so that carbon dating would suggest that things are older than they are, and he's created dinosaur bones, but not actual dinosaurs. No, he's just created the bones alone so that we would think that there was a whole lot of evolution that has gone on, but there isn't really, because he's just made it all up. Even then, you shouldn't disbelieve in evolution, because God clearly has put those dinosaur bones in so that we would think that there's evolution. So these dinosaur bones would be then on the same level as the Bible, because it's something that God made specifically to talk to us. He put those bones there to tell us the backstory of the universe, even if the backstory is not real, because you don't believe it is real. Even then, you got this backstory that God is trying to tell you through dinosaur bones, and you disbelieve it. So who's the true believer now? Alright, well, tell me what you thought of this ramble. Do you want to hear more about Christianity and logic? Or have I scared you away with my entertaining the notions of creationism? Well, do write the comments and like the video, and check out the debate.